Lippert with you here on this Sunday evening, 77 degrees in Oklahoma City. Well, the election happened, and now there is a runoff. In Ward 2, the top two spenders, Charlie Swinton and Dr. Ed Shadid, will face off in a runoff election on April 5th. Tonight, I'm going to be talking with both of these candidates about their positions and why they're running for council. I hope you'll stick around because that's the 7 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking about what happened at the Oklahoma State Legislature this past week. So it should be a really good night to listen to KTOK. So let's welcome our first candidate, Charlie Swinton. Charlie, congratulations. I know that you actually won the previous election. You got 42% of the vote, about 43%, which sounds great. How are you feeling after your first victory?
Oh, we were very pleased and humbled by the support we've received. Excited about the opportunity to have this runoff and finish the race and win the race on April 5th.
So let me ask you, 43% of the vote, that translates into 1,803 votes. How many citizens in Ward 2 can actually vote?
I think it's about, I'm not certain, Gwin, but I think it's about 40,000 because they were projecting about our total vote, I think, was right at 11%, and then we had a little over 4,000 total votes among all 6 candidates.
And so there's a lot of room to work with there, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's part of our strategy to win on April 5th is to increase the vote.
And how do you plan to do that?
Oh, through what we've been doing, through mailing and phone calling, and I spent most of the day Saturday and this afternoon out on doors. You just got to get out there and spread your message and encourage people to vote out why this is an important election.
Now, the one of the buzz things about this election is the top 2 spenders are the 2 remaining candidates. How much do you think you will have to spend to win this city council seat?
Well, it changes daily. When we started out, Sam Bowman 8 years ago raised $70-some thousand and had 4 opponents and won. This time the races we are raising more than that. When you're in a race with someone who has unlimited resources, you got to keep running, and I don't have those kind of resources, so we're raising money every day trying to get our message across and win the election on April the 5th.
So let's get your message across. What is your message, your key message?
I think the defining difference between the two of us is the maps issue. When you look at who's supporting whom, the community leaders in this town are supporting me. It's over the issue of maps. The people that are supporting my opponent fought Maps 3. And that is the defining issue in this race. And I think that's what the race will be determined on. The other things I'd like to talk about are strong neighborhoods. You know, to have a great city and to have great neighborhoods, you need jobs, you need a good local schools, and you need to feel safe. You got to have police protection. Those are the 3 main points I've talked about on building a better Oklahoma City and having greater neighborhoods in our city.
So how important do you think endorsements are to this race?
Well, I think they're important. I'm not well known. I mean, my wife and I are blessed with lots of friends through town, but you ask 100 people, we'll be lucky if one knew who I was. I'm sure that my opponent's the same way. So people like to know and look to who's supporting whom. When you don't know someone, you look, okay, who's supporting them and why? And I think that's what's going on in this race. We're proud to have community leaders on my side and people that are for maps and want to see the city grow. So that's what's going on in this race.
Do you think that, you know, when this race and others, when all the city council races that were up started this time, it seemed to be very partisan, I think, because of the way the Tea Party got into it and had candidates. Do you think this is still a partisan, I know it's supposed to be nonpartisan, but do you think it is coming down to party lines?
No, I think, in fact, that's one thing about our campaign. I say we're bipartisan. I have support of lots of Democrats. I have support lots of Republicans. This race is defined by economic issues. And that's why you see so many people lining up behind me in my campaign. I mean, we've got the mayor behind us. We've got former Mayor Andy Coates and community leaders like Doug Cummings. We can go on and on down the list of people who are supporting me that people know in the community. And quite honestly, look at the list of his backers. There's just not any known quality folks really on his side.
So let's talk about the MAPS issues that are being questioned.
Sure.
From your point of view, what do you think they are?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure.
What are the MAPS issues that are being questioned?
Well, I just think the issue of who's for MAPS and who's not, particularly on MAPS 3, that vote, the certain city unions opposed the election, and the business community supported it, and that fight is carrying over into all these races that occurred this fall. The winners so far have been those who were supportive of growing the community and supporting MAPS.
And certainly in the other races, those that had supported MAPS, you're right. So do you think that there's a good chance that your race will go a similar way?
I hope so, because that's where we are. I mean, you asked the question, who's backing Charlie Swinton and why? It's people who are for the MAPS 3 and for making this city grow and keeping it moving forward. That, to me, is the defining issue in this race.
And this probably goes back to why you chose to run for council at all. Let's revisit that. Why did you choose to go door to door and do all this, if you will?
Well, I was hoping Sam Bowman would run for re-election. He probably might have been unopposed, but once he decided not to, Gwin, I think I told you this before, I've been in and around government all my life. I'm going to be 62 in May, and I've always wanted to make a difference in this community and give back to this community, so I decided maybe the city council was a place where I could give back to the city I love and get involved, and that's look forward to working with neighborhood people and community leaders to make this a better city.
On your website, I'm reading, senior officer with Bank First Oklahoma's largest state chartered bank,
yes,
and that you work with community financing for economic development. So economic development is one of your platforms?
Oh, sure. It's my top priority. You know, my signs say job growth is job one. So that's economic development. You can't live in the city you want to and the neighborhood you want to if you don't have the kind of job that lets you live there. So I've said that in all my speeches that jobs are the cornerstone of a great city and a great neighborhood.
Well, I do remember when I interviewed you and Dr. Shadid that there were some differences, and one of the differences involved the supporting of local small businesses as opposed to larger ones. I think I even talked about the Bass Pro vote and things like that. I know that they are irrelevant now, but possibly on the council things like that will come up again.
Sure, and I'm a strong advocate of small businesses. One of the things as councilman I want to do is make sure when a business or an individual comes in for a permit and stuff that they don't get the runaround. I believe there is good government and there's bad government. Bad government is bureaucracy, and you kind of hit your head against the wall and you're told different things at different parts of government. I want to make sure that the Oklahoma City Council and our government is small business friendly and is friendly to our citizens when they come to when they have needs in front of the council, and with city government.
So is there anything that, and I will ask him the same question, is there anything that your opponent is saying about you that you would like to correct, perhaps?
His flyer asked that question. You know, his recent flyer that came to the home said, who's backing Charlie Swinton and why? And he's inferring all these mean, nasty people are backing me. Well, I'd say back is, no, they're not. There's no mean, nasty people. It's the community leaders. You look at the neighborhood leaders, you look at community leaders, there's no plot to get anybody or do anything. It's people that care about maps and understands that if there's a failure anytime with maps, we may take a step backward. And I have a clear record of being pro-maps. I have voted in every MAPS election. He has not voted in one municipal election in the last since '04 that we can find. Not any of the maps, not for the Thunder vote, not in any mayor's races, but yet he wants to lead this city or be a leader in this city. So, those are kind of things.
And just for clarification, how are you able to know that?
Oh, you can go to the county election board. You can go and check my votes. We can go check yours. I mean, those are public records of how often people vote, not necessarily how they voted, but how often they voted. And for someone who holds himself up for a city leadership post to not have even voted in any elections is just beyond me.
And so Tuesday, April 5th, the citizens of Ward 2 will have an opportunity, and there are 40,000 of them that can vote, we learned just a few minutes ago, that to vote and choose between Charlie Swinton and Dr. Ed Shadid. What else should we know about this campaign?
Oh, it's been a delight for me out on the doors, how wonderful the people of Oklahoma City are. I was knocking doors the other day, and Mr. Patton invited me in, an elderly gentleman, and gave me a book, Gwin, about a young artist, a girl artist, that he says, you need to have a copy of this. And I said, let me pay for it. And he said, no, you need to have a copy of this. The Oklahoma City, as we all know, are made up of great people, and every day I see that when I visit with people at the doors, and it's been an uplifting experience for me. There are parts of this campaign I wish we didn't have to go through, but overall, I'm excited about Ward 2. It's a ward of great people, and given the opportunity, I think we can make it even a better ward.
I wanted to, when we have to take a break here in a second, but when we come back, I wanted to ask you some specific things. Recently, the convention center site suggestions have been released, and I wanted to ask you about that. I also want to ask you about the urban streetcar, because I know there is a group of advocates that are somewhat concerned about what will happen to the streetcar should certain sites be chosen or post, that kind of thing. So I wanted to give you a heads up to be thinking about that and other things. Charlie Swinton, 62 years old, is running. I know that Dr. Shadid fancies himself as an independent businessman. What do you fancy yourself as being?
I fancy myself as being someone who is running to make a difference in this city and in the neighborhoods and in people's lives. I'm a person that's down-to-earth, mainstream, common-sense kind of person that looks forward to tackling what problems exist in city government and making a difference and making them better for everyone.
I'm going to take a 3-minute break. Talking to KTOK, 74 degrees. Talking to KTOK, 74 degrees in Oklahoma City, talking with the runoff candidates for Ward 2 of the Oklahoma City Council. Candidate Charlie Swinton, who won the first go-around, is here with me first this evening. And Candidate Swinton, let's talk about the convention center. Different locations have been released. The former Bob Howard downtown Ford dealership, the city-owned parking lot by the Bricktown Ballpark just east, and the former Stewart metal plant, which is owned by Bob Minders. There's some others south and, further south than that. Do you have a favorite?
No, I do not have a favorite. I think it's just which site makes the most economic sense. There's been a lot of money invested in the Skirvin and the downtown hotels where they are. My understanding is wherever they build the new site that there will be some private investment in the fact that there will probably be another new hotel, a convention center hotel built next door. And that's the exciting part about the convention center is the private investment. MAPS has continually brought in additional private investment, and I hope that the same would be the case here.
I understand at the meeting that the people talking about this said that they didn't think private investment would do it with these hard economic times, and that the city would need to come up with money and match, much like they did with the Skirvin. How would you feel about that?
Well, if it makes economic sense to support the continued growth of Oklahoma City, then we'll do it. I mean, there were some questions at first about the Skirvin, but putting putting money into that. But I don't know who wants to undo it now. It's a beautiful hotel. It's made a huge difference, filled a big hole in downtown Oklahoma City. I think we, as a council member, you have to look at all the options and then decide what's best for the city.
Okay, let's talk about the urban streetcar, because in our previous interview, you had made a point that you thought it should be put off to the very end, which has made some of the streetcar advocates a little panicky, I'll say.
Well, the first point is, we are implementing a streetcar system. The voters voted on it. It will be done. Hopefully, the streetcar system, you look at all the other big league cities. You use the Thunder as an example. Every other city that we compete in basketball has a urban trolley system, has an intermodal system. Oklahoma City's the only one that doesn't. And so it's going to happen. It has to happen because we are becoming a big league city, and I think when you look at what makes a city great is the transportation system. I did raise that issue as an effort to, because I was told originally that there may be some things going on in Germany that might save some money. I visited with Debbie Blackburn and some others that are on that committee, and they feel like that's probably pie in the sky. But if that's the case, then we move straight ahead. But I'm excited about the trolley system and about intermodal transportation. Again, to be a big league city, that's what you gotta. I think that's where we're headed, and it'll happen.
So is it fair to say you are now an advocate of the urban streetcar?
Oh, I've always been an advocate. The question was about the economics.
Right.
Does it make sense? Like I said, I've tried to be a common sense kind of guy, and when it was first raised, the costs, and there might be a possibility in Germany they were trying something that might save dollars. I think it behooves any elected official to look at all the options and then make those decisions. That's all I was saying.
And so, do you feel you've calmed the fears now?
Well, I don't know. People are going to think what they think, but I've always been for the trolley system. I voted for them when it was on the ballot. Some people take some what I think was common sense effort to work through that problem, and they like to twist things. So if they do, that's their prerogative. But I know what Charlie Swinton believes in, and that's in the trolley system, and we will build it, and I'll be a big advocate of it.
I think my question was, the council really has the right to change the projects, and would you do that? Change the project? No, I don't see where it's changed the project. The projects have been voted on. It's a question of how you implement them, and what funds are used and when you do them. Would you like to stump for yourself?
Stump for myself?
Yes, give me
Sure.
your best. Give me your best 45 seconds of why vote for Charlie Swinton.
Well, I think why vote for me, because I stand for progress. I stand for maps. I have the backing of the community leaders who want to see this city grow and continue, like the mayor and others. I ask for people's vote. I want to help and work with neighborhoods and make them a better place to live in this city. Ward 2 is a very great area of this town. You have lots of different kinds of neighborhoods and lots of different kind of people live in the ward, and if elected, I would be honored to work with them and try to make Ward 2 a better place to live and work. That's my stump speech.
Okay. For those of you that would like to know more about candidate Charlie Swinton, you can go to Swinton for Council, F-O-R, Swinton, SWINTON, F-O-R, Council, COUNCIL.com, and read about his viewpoints and all the things, many of the things that we've talked about tonight. I thank you so much for your time, candidate Swinton, and I wish you best of luck on the campaign trail.
We'll take all the luck we can get. Gwin, thank you as always. It's always great in a democracy to be able to express your views, so we appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. So.